Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the study of magnetism. In the HSC textbook, the chapter number 12, name of the topic chapter is magnetism. We know that a substance which attracts small pieces of iron is called magnet. And this property of attracting small pieces of iron, nickel, cobalt is called magnetism. The property of the magnet is called magnetism. A substance which attracts the small pieces of iron, and when it is suspended freely, it rests in north-south direction. The substance it is known as the magnet. And this property of the magnet it is known as the magnetism. Magnet and magnetism बहुत दिनों से लोग जानते हैं, but the systematic study of the magnet is done by William Gilbert. He was the first to systematically investigate the phenomena of magnetism using scientific methods. With the help of scientific methods, William Gilbert studied the magnetism properly. After that, another scientist, Hans Oersted, gives the relation between electricity and magnetism. There is a relation between electricity and magnetism. Means when electric current passed through a conductor, electric field is developed around the conductor. This is the Oersted experiment. Means basically he suggested the link between electricity and magnetism. After that, James Clerk Maxwell proved that electricity and magnetism represents the different aspects of the same fundamental field, same fundamental force field. This is the history of magnet. We are very much familiar about the magnetism or magnet. See some facts. We know that a magnet attracts small pieces of ferromagnetic materials like iron, nickel, cobalt. This property of the magnet it is known as the magnetism. Again, we know that when the magnet is suspended freely, it rests in north-south direction. The point or tip of the magnet which directed towards the north geography pole of the earth is called north pole of the magnet. And the point or tip of the magnet which is directed towards the south pole of the earth, the tip it is known as the south pole. Therefore, magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. Magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. This is the important property of the magnet. Again, next important property or facts about the magnet is, if we cut a given magnet into two pieces, we know that magnet consists of two poles, N pole and S pole, North pole and South pole. When we cut this magnet into two parts, there is a formation of poles which takes place. S pole is formed at one side and N pole is formed at other side. Therefore, this new magnet is formed having separate two poles, north and south. Again, another piece of magnet having north pole and south pole. If we again cut this small magnet into two parts, again it forms two separate magnets. From this, we can say that it is impossible to separate the two poles of the magnet. Means thus, monopole or separate pole of the magnet does not exist. Magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. Now, take the two bar magnets and place these two bar magnets on a table such that the unlike poles are near to each other. Means S pole of the first magnet and north pole of the second magnet. It is found that these two magnets are attracts to each other. Instead of that, if we place two magnets on a table near to each other, such a way that like poles are near to each other, then it is found that these two magnets are repels to each other. From this, we conclude that the like poles are repels to each other and unlike poles are attracts to each other. In electrostatic, we have seen that there are two charges, positive and negative charges. Two types of charges, positive and negative charges. Like charges are repels to each other and unlike charges are attracts to each other. Similarly, in this case also, like poles are repels to each other and unlike poles are attracts to each other. When the magnet is freely suspended, it is points in north-south direction. The north-seeking pole is called north pole, or it is also termed as positive pole. And the south-seeking pole is called south pole, or it is also known as the negative pole. The south pole is termed as negative pole. Negative pole. Please remember that. North pole considered as positive and south pole is considered as negative. A magnet having two poles, so it is called magnetic dipole. We know that if two charges, two opposite charges, say negative charge and say positive charge, these two charges are separated by a finite distance, then this system, it is known as the electric dipole. This system, it is known as the electric dipole, and distance between these two charges is called length of the dipole. It is denoted by 2L. Similarly, in case of magnetism, magnet consists of two poles, say N pole and S pole. Therefore, this system, it is also known as the magnetic dipole. Any magnet consists of two poles, N pole and S pole. So it is known as the magnetic dipole. Now say what is meant by magnetic field. We already studied that the electric field. What is the source of electric field? Source of the electric field is electric charge. Similarly, source of the magnetic field is a magnet. Source of magnetic field is a magnet. What is the magnetic electric field? The space around the charge where electrostatic force is effective. This region it is known as the electric field. Similarly, the region surrounding the magnet in which its effect can be experienced is called magnetic field. Is called magnetic field. Thank you.